And who better to prepare us for all of this madness that is coming our way than our bracket brainiac himself, NBC News national political correspondent Steve Kornacki. He's got his trusty big board, made a special graphic just for Steve for the month. All right, so we've all put our picks in for now. Our brackets are filled out, so is yours. What are the odds out there that someone might have a perfect bracket by the end of all of this?
Yeah, you see these contests out there, millions of dollars if you can do it. Just a little bit of a full disclosure here for folks. These are the odds of getting the perfect bracket. That would be 9.2 quintillion, 1 in 9.2 quintillion. But I'm here with good news for you, because if you've been doing your homework, studying up, figuring out the most likely ones, you can slash those odds all the way down to 1 in 120 billion. Now, here's the thing. It is 63 games. That's what you're trying to pick in a bracket, a total of 63 games. How far has somebody gone? How close has somebody come? 2019. This is the record for the closest ever. A guy got 49 games deep, and then it fell apart.
That's pretty good.
All right.
Very good.
So we look at the men's tournament. Number 1 seeds?
Take a look right here. You've got Auburn. Full disclosure here, I picked him for the national title last year. They lost to Yale in the first round. You got Duke. The big question mark with Duke. Cooper flag. The consent. He's playing. But is he 100% coming off this ankle injury? We're going to find out. Florida, the hottest team going into the tournament. Houston, they've been monsters the last few years. Maybe a more complete version of Houston. This time, they can shoot the ball. Take a look at the full bracket here. Just a couple storylines maybe worth following here. Yeah, how about Michigan State? You've known this name the last generation. It's been a while since they've been in the Final Four. They got a real shot this year. St. John's, Rick Pitino here in New York. It's a great story. 25 years since this school's won a tournament game. Some folks think they can win a lot more than one tournament game this time around. And if you're looking for maybe a sleeper here, an upset, I'll tell you, a sleeper team I'm interested in is BYU. This is one of the most high-scoring teams. They're a fun team to watch. Maybe they get on a run. And my upset pick in the first round, by the way, Liberty over.
What about Wofford?
Wofford. Terrier, Steve.
Listen, Craig, I think they got a chance at covering the spread.
That's pretty good. That's actually really good.
Okay, Steve, what are you looking at for the women?
All right, take a look here. Top seeds on the women's side. I think we're used to seeing this one. South Carolina, but this time they are not the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. South Carolina lost 3 games this year. In the last 3 seasons combined, they lost 3 games. So this is a bit of a down year for South Carolina. And yet a down year in South Carolina means still a number 1 seed, still with a chance here. You got Juju Watkins, explosive there at USC. UCLA, never been to a Final Four on the women's side. This is their best chance here. Texas certainly has been a mainstay. And you take a look here at the women's bracket. One possibility here, folks on the West Coast will love this. Do you get that all-West Coast Final Four on this side? Here's what could be standing in the way of that. Look out for UConn. They're lurking. Paige Beckers, one more chance for her. Can she lead the Huskies to a national title? They haven't won one since 2016. Oh, and by the way, you remember from last year? Caitlin Clark. What's the effect without Caitlin Clark? Iowa's still in it, but they're a 6 seed this time. They're a sleeper, maybe.
We know you take your bracketology very seriously. And a lot of folks in this studio, they actually place their bets based on what you say.
God help them.
So what say you, Steve Kornacki? Who do you have winning it all?
My head says Houston, but I don't bet with my head. Very good strategy. My heart says the St. John's Red Storm, Rick Pitino, and yes, UConn gets it done on the women's side.
Man. Impressive.
St. John's would be a great story. And Pitino, by the way, if he wins, that's the third team that he's won a national championship with, right?
It'd be Louisville. We got a little technicality. They took it off the books. But we'll say he did in Kentucky as well. What about you guys? What do you think?
I'm going with South Carolina for women's. Nod to you. And I picked my Fighting Illini, my home team, for the men. A little sleeper choice.
Mr. Roker?
Well, I've got, I have no idea what I'm doing. So Alabama and South Carolina women. Although I think I might switch over to St. John's.
I'm surprised you didn't go with St. John's.
Well,
that's your hometown team.
I didn't know who they were.
Okay.
I just saw St. John's. I don't know.
Okay. I went with St. John's as well, Steve. I went with my head, not with my heart. And with South Carolina, I went with my head and my heart.
Dylan with the UNC.
Yeah. That's well, you know, she's a sleeper. Looking for a sleeper there. All right.
Or she's asleep.
Steve, we'll be checking in with you a lot over the next few weeks.
Forward to it.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.